Okay. So we check what are the types of chart of accounts. We discussed what do you mean by an operational chart of account, what do you mean by group chart of accounts, and country specific. Out of the operational chart of accounts are mandatory chart of accounts, and group chart of accounts and country specific chart of accounts are optional, right? And we have two methodologies of chart of accounts. One is 1:n methodology, and another one is 1:1 methodology. 1:n methodology is nothing but one chart of accounts can be assigned to number of company codes. 1:n methodology means one chart of account can be assigned to number of company codes. So what is the advantage with the 1:1n methodology in the sense, if one chart of accounts is assigned to number of company codes in the sense, then the cross company code costing is possible. When cross company code costing is possible, when one chart of account is assigned to member of company codes, member company codes. Clear? And same time, intercompany transactions are possible only when member company codes are assigned to one particular chart of accounts. Then only the intercompany transactions are possible. Clear? Again, we have one more chart of accounts, 1:1 methodology. 1:1 methodology. What do you mean by 1:1 methodology? One chart of account is assigned to only one particular company code. Okay, another company code will have another chart of account. Another company code will have another chart of account, right? So to consolidate the chart of accounts, we will create one group chart of accounts. Group chart of account. That is, we have created it. This is called 1:1 methodology. 1:1 methodology. So when we will create a group chart of accounts, group chart of accounts will be created when companies are following its chart of accounts in 1:1 methodology. 1:1 methodology, which means one company code is assigned to one particular chart of accounts. Clear? What is the disadvantage with this in the sense? Cross company code costing is not possible. Intercompany transactions are not possible in 1:1 methodology. So whenever you are working on intercompany transactions, means what is the chart of accounts over there? Chart of accounts are following 1:n methodology. And your organization, you don't have intercompany transactions, means they're not following 1:n methodology. They are following 1:1 methodology. Clear? And here we said that GL masters. Each GL master. So next we will have account groups. What do you mean by an account groups? After creation of chart of accounts, we are going to create account groups. Account groups are nothing but when we perform the transactions, probably there will be two or more accounts will occur. So each account we need to assign to relevant group. Like day before yesterday session, we saw account groups, current assets, long-term assets, right? Fixed assets, right? Investments, like that. We need to assign each and every account to one particular relevant account group. Clear? And after that, GL masters. So whatever account you are going to get in the transactions, right? We are going to assign to one particular number. And GL master number, maximum we can have 10 digits number. Okay. Any GL account, we can assign how many digits we can give? 10 digits. That is numerical values. Digits in the sense here, numerical values. So here, majority companies in real-time environment, they will give their GL account 7 to 8 digits. 7 or 8 digits. Most of the companies, 99% companies. Okay. But as I said that in our practice, we are going to use 6-digit number for GL account. In GL account, we will give the length of 6 digits. Here. So here I said, so the accounts are broadly classified into two different categories. One is balance sheet items and P&L account items. In balance sheet, we have a liabilities, assets. In P&L account, we will have a incomes and expenses. So liabilities, we will, in general, the same structure will follow. Liabilities, we follow 1 series. Assets, we will follow 2 series number. Incomes, we will follow 3 series. Expense, we will follow 4 series. Okay. So I'm giving a length as any liability we are going to take from 1 lakh to 1,99,999. Same time assets 2 lakhs to 2 lakhs. It's not SAP standard. It could be anything. But in general, in real-time practice, normally they will follow liabilities as one series, assets are two series, incomes as three series, and expenses as four series. It could be anything. Again, I'm reiterating. Okay. So here, yesterday we have created chart of accounts. So I'll repeat once again. Okay. So we have completed till here. Company code, global parameters, definition of chart of accounts, assign company code to chart of accounts, and next step, define account groups. Put a heading as in define account groups. So in Excel, we can see we have done with chart of accounts part. Okay. Next one, write down. Define account groups. Write down the path. SPRO, SPRO, SAP reference IMG, SAP reference IMG, financial accounting new, general ledger accounting new, master data, general ledger accounting new, master data, GL account, GL account, preparations, define account groups or define account group, transaction code OBD4, transaction code OBD4. Okay, I'll repeat once again. Okay. So SPRO, SAP reference IMG, and one more thing, I need to show one transaction code. SAP reference IMG, financial accounting new, financial accounting new. It's damn slow to do. So what is the issue? Let me start again. If anyone has taken the server access, kindly check your server is also slow, if possible. Meanwhile, I'll talk to him. Give me a second time, I'll talk to him.
Yes, okay.
Because of rain, it seems yesterday. Said I will check. Meanwhile, we will do it. Okay. Preparations. Select preparations. Edit chart of accounts. So we have already done this chart of accounts. So I am the activity. So transaction code is OB62. Sorry, OBD. Define account group OBD4. OBD4. So here we are going to write. So in real time, normally we need to, in other where they will give you only the liabilities, assets, and incomes and expenses account groups on only 4 account groups. But here we are going to define the complete set of account groups, whatever transaction it come in real time. Okay, the complete set we are going to do it. So what is a liability series we have given? What is the liability series we have given? Am I audible?
One
series.
507.
1 lakh to 1,99,000, right? Next one, assets.
2
2
lakh.
Incomes.
3.
And expenses 4. So in the same way, we are going to define whatever liabilities will come. First, we will go with the liabilities, assets, incomes, and expenses. It's damn slow. Okay, so we need to press here new entries. Right now, press new entries. Press new entries. So what is our chart of accounts we have given? What is our chart of account? Our chart of accounts, we have given it as an BOCA. So here, I'll give it as a BOCA. BOCA. Account group, I'll give it as an. So here, liability series. So L, I am giving it as an, which represents liabilities. So here it has, I will give L100. So because we have started with 1 lakh. So each and every liability, I'll give it 10,000 range. So your client will say in real time, what would be the transactions on different liabilities. So here, first one, I'll give it as an share capital. Okay. 1 lakh. So 6, right? 1, 2, 3. Yes. $1,99,000. 1,99,999. So I'm giving 10,000 range for share capital. Next one, BOCA. BOCA. So L110. So in real time, it could be anything. Again, I'm reiterating. For each account group, I'm taking 10,000 range, reserves and surplus. reserves and surplus. So here I'll take it as in 11 lakhs. 11 lakhs 99. Next one.
Hi Naveen, I have a question here, Naveen.
Yes.
The group we are creating from account 1000, sorry, 10,000 to 1099.
Yeah.
They in this between debentures accounts or other accounts will get created, right?
Yes, yes. Under this share capital, we will create those.
Okay.
We will give one
those,
particular account in between this range.
yeah, in between that range. Okay.
Mhm.
So the consolidation would be at the LH 100 level then.
Correct. Yeah. L120. You just write it down so that it would be in your practice, it would be easy. Normally, they will define in general because it's time consuming. So they will create it as an L series, A series, liabilities, assets, and after that, in accounts, they will create it. But that's not correct way. Because in real time, we need to define complete account group. But in training environment, they will show only the four things. Liabilities, and whatever liabilities accounts will come into, they will instead of account group, they will directly consolidate as a liability level. So which is incorrect actually.
So Naveen, just want to check with you here
Yeah.
is by default the SAP will not have this accounts created, or we have to create.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
No. Here we are creating, we are giving account range from one series and two series, right?
Correct.
So is this series is not provided by the SAP?
No, it's not provided by the SAP. It's not SAP standard.
Okay, it's not SAP.
Yes, it's not SAP standard. So we need to have our own account group.
Okay, so if that is the case, when if accounts needs to create as per IFRS and GAAP rules also, right?
Right, right. So what we are going to do in general account, see, it could be IFRS or US GAAP or Indian GAAP. So normally first we will create account groups here. So after that, in the GL masters, we are going to create GL accounts. So here we have a concept called, what we call new GL accounting concept. Over there, we are going to segregate these GL account as per US GAAP reporting, as per Indian GAAP reporting, and as per IFRS reporting.
Okay, not here.
Not here.
Okay. Naveen, here I also have a question. Is there any specific reason you are giving this 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 3 and 1 4
No,
series for
generally I'm taking.
consecutive? Okay,
Generally,
generally, right?
yes,
There
yes,
is
it's not
nothing
standard.
we can swap up and down also, not a problem.
Anything we can take it.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. I'm like whatever I have done in my real time, in the same way I'm taking. That's it.
okay. So if you either you can have unsecured in 1 3 series. There is not
Anything,
mandatory
not
anything, right?
specific, no specific.
Okay,
We can have anything. That's the reason I'm saying it's not SAP standard, or in general, it's not standard. Whatever I'm following, as per the best practices, I'm doing this.
okay. Thank you.
So I have done with my liabilities. Now I'll create assets. So assets I am representing with A. Two series we have defined, right? So I'll take here two series, fixed assets. And here we normally used to call it as a sundry creditors. Okay, now we are no more in SAP. We are no more calling it as a sundry creditors or sundry debtors. So we are calling it as a trade payables and trade receivables. So mostly here. Trade payables, payables is nothing but your accounts payable. Trade receivables is nothing but your accounts receivable. Write it down till here. Okay, so we are done with the assets part till now. So now we will see incomes. So incomes I'll represent it with I. So 3 series, I 300, I 300. I'll take it as in sales revenues. Sales revenues. 3 lakhs to 3 lakhs, 9. Just write it down after here. Now I'll go with the expenses. So till here, everyone kindly finish it so that we can go other set of groups. Is it done, everyone? If you're writing, let me know.
Yes, we are writing.
Just write it down till here. Okay, so that's it, our account groups. So we have created account groups for liabilities, assets, incomes, and expenses. So in GL Masters, whatever accounts we are going to get, we are going to assign these account groups. Okay. Any questions here? Yes, no.
No.
Okay. So last step in this one chart of accounts part. So write down. Define retained earnings account. Define. Sorry, it's not defined. See, we need to reserve one particular account master, particular GL account for retained earnings account. What do you mean by retained earnings account? See, the term itself indicates that retained earnings. Retaining earnings means whenever a company or a business gets a profit, so the total amount will not be distributed. See, whatever profits we are going to get, that has to be repaid to owner or shareholders. Clear? So here, for example, 1 lakh rupees we have got as a profit. Then as per this, we need to distribute that 1 lakh rupees to owner. We need to pay to owner or we need to distribute to shareholders. So out of 1 lakh, we are not going to repay the complete amount. We are not going to repay the complete amount to owner or a shareholders. We are going to retain some part of the amount. We are going to retain some part of the amount. Okay, some percent, 20 or 30%. And the remaining percentage, we are going to pay. For example, out of 1 lakh, 30,000 we are going to retain with the company or with the business. And the rest of the amount, that is 70,000 amount, we are going to distribute as profits to shareholders or owners. Clear? Then that is considered whatever amount we are going to retain. In SAP, we call it as a retained earnings. Out of earnings, out of total earnings, whatever amount, whatever percentage we are going to retain with the business. Clear? We are going to retain with the business. That amount is considered as a retained earnings. In other words, we will call it as an undistributed profits. Undistributed profits, right? It's a kind of reserve only. It's a kind of reserve only. Clear? We will have, I'll discuss what do you mean by difference between a reserves and a provisions. We have two terminologies here. Reserves, one liability we have created, and provisions, we have created one liability. Clear? Why this retained earnings are a liability to us, or reserves are liability to us, provisions are liability to us, in the sense we are going to, why we have retained this undistributed profit with the business, in the sense to meet any future losses or any future accidental losses, right? If any future losses occur, then we can't go and beg for the money, either owner or a banks or any others. So instead of getting dependent on other sources, the company itself is retain the amount out of profits, retain the amount with the business. So to any losses occurs in future, so with that it can be compensated, right? If any losses didn't occur, in future, then whatever amount business has retained, then at the end that has to be repaid or distributed, that has to be repaid back to either owners or shareholders. So whatever amount we need to repay back, we in the sense company or a business, we need to repay back to the owners or shareholders or whoever it is, then that amount we will get something which we need to repay back, then that is considered as a liability. Clear? So the retained earnings are also liability, the reserves are also liability, and the provisions are also liability, and the capital is also liability. Because at the end we need to repay back. That's not a business amount. That amount is pertaining to either owner or shareholder or someone. So something which we need to repay back, then that amount is considered as a liability to the business. Here business in the sense we. Is this clear? So that's the reason we are going to define retained earnings under liability, and we are going to reserve one particular account for retained earnings account. Retained earnings account. Before creation of ledger only, we are going to reserve this particular ledger account. Means automatically whatever profit surplus amount will be there, that will be automatically transferred to retained earnings. That I will show you in future. So write down Define a retained earnings account. Clear? Write down. Path, write down SPRO. SPRO, SAP reference ING. Financial accounting, new. Financial accounting, new. General ledger accounting, new. Master data. Master data. GL account. Preparations. Define retained earnings account. Transaction code OB53. Transaction code OB53. So click on save button. So select your Birla company. Okay, it got saved. So here define retained earnings account OB53. So click on execute button and it will ask for your chart of account. So our chart of account is BOCA. So give you a chart of accounts. BOCA. Give chart of accounts. BOCA. So how much amount we are going to retain?
30.
Sorry,
30.
I didn't get you. See, I just took example 30%, right? But can we know what is the profit we are going to get now at this particular moment? We are in the month of April. When we are come to know in the month of March only, right?
Yes.
Can we assess now what is the profit we are going to get? Yes or no?
No.
No, right? So something which we don't know, then normally in English we call it as an assume it as an X. Correct? Keyword. There is a keyword. We can use any letter. Any letter. Normally in real time also we use reserve key as an X. Okay. And anything you can use. Y or Z, any key. Okay. And we have one series liability reserve account. Reserves and surplus we have taken. So I'm taking 1,10,000. You remember in account group, we have taken reserves and surplus 1,10,000 to 1,19,999. Okay. X is a reserve keyword. And out of reserves and surplus, the first account, the first ledger account I'm going to utilize for retained earnings account. I'm reserving this particular account number for retained earnings account. Just write it up. So we are going to use this 1,10,000 for retained earnings account. Any question? Any questions here? So this is the retained earnings account is a configuration step. It's not an end user activity. The ledger accounts will be created by the end user. Okay, account to groups and the retained earnings account is a configuration step. Any questions here? Yes,
No.
means automatically your surplus amount in your P&L account, right? Incomes minus expense or expense minus income, whatever surplus is there, either that could be a profit or loss, that surplus, sorry, if it is a profit, then that will be transferred to your retained earnings account as per your configuration. Yeah, any questions here? Yes, no.
No.
Okay. So here, press enter. So we will get one warning message. So here, what does it mean? The GL account is not yet created, but we are reserving it. So account 1,10,000 not created, not created. We have not created, but still we are reserving it. That's a soft message. This is yellow color. See, there are three types of messages we are going to get. One is red in color, which is warning message. So with, if we are getting in red color, which means that it's not allowing to save, right? Yellow color, it's a soft message. We can ignore that. Green message, it is, which means that it's a success. No issues with that. So we can write it down, this particular message. Account 1,10,000, whatever account we have created, that particular account is not created. Means in chart of accounts, we have not created yet ledger accounts, right? We have just created account groups, that's it. In GL master, GL module, we are going to create chart of the ledger accounts. So BOCA, just ignore this message. Just ignore this message. It's only a warning message. We can ignore this warning message and save it. Ignore this warning message and save it. Click on save button. That's it. Okay. Total, with this, we have done with the chart of account. There are total 4 steps. We have defined chart of accounts. Okay. Total 4 steps. One is chart of accounts. First step is define chart of accounts, OB13. Second step, assign chart of company codes, OB62. Define account groups and define retained earnings account. So we have done with the 4 steps activity. Chart of accounts are 4 steps activity. First, define chart of groups. Next one, assign company code to chart of accounts. Next one, define account groups, define retained earnings account. So 4 steps activity we have completed. Clear?
Yes.
Next step, we are going to see in Monday session. That is the most important thing. Here we are going to start from fiscal year variant onwards. How fiscal year will be created and all those stuff. How the periods will be closed, open in the next Monday session. So we are going to discuss. And before that, I would like to show you one thing. See, in your practice or your real time, for example, I'm in OB53 transaction code. Okay, so if I'm trying to open another session on OB53, this is not, I'll show you one thing. Let me show you one thing. See here. What is happening? For example, in real time or in your practice environment, if 2 persons, we are using the same server, and we want to access one particular screen at a time, right? So here I am using OB62 transaction code. Okay, here I'm using OB62 transaction code, and other user wants to use the same OB62 transaction code. sometimes you can see that some person is working on PO, some modification is doing on PO, and same time you want to work on that particular purchase order in ME23N. So sometimes you will get some warning message that this particular transaction or the data is logged by so and so user. Clear? But you want to work immediately on that particular transaction. Clear? But it is showing it as in logged. So write down a note. Write down a note here. Write down a note here. Yeah. Write down a note. How to unlock the locked screen. Locked screen means anywhere in real-time environment or practice environment, if two persons are working on the same server, right, or any particular transaction, both are working, right? Majority we will see in purchase order transactions, right? Then how to unlock the screen in the sense transaction code SM12. Transaction code SM12. So I'll show you here. SM12. SM12. SM12.
Yes.
Okay. So here you can type in your SM12. It is applicable for Fiori apps also. This particular transaction code SM12. And here definitely it will mention whenever you are working, I'll show you /OB. It will show you the user name also who has logged. See here, the data is logged by user Naveen, right? So what you need to do is here, normally it will show you blank. Okay. So here, this is a table name, local argument, client 800, whatever client you are working, that it will show. And here you need to mention on which ID it has been logged. Clear? Which ID it has been logged? Naveen. So you can type that particular ID here. Okay, that particular ID here. The next click on list. Then click on list. Click on list. So here you can see the table, RS table, Naveen has been logged. So what you need to select, whatever tables. So just to select that, okay. First click on list, and after that it will show you whatever data is logged. So select them and click on delete option. Click on delete option. Click on delete option. So delete in the sense only the log will be get deleted, not data. The log will be deleted. So delete log entry. Click on yes. Click on yes. Then what happens? So at this particular point of moment, you can also work on the same transaction code, and the opposite person also can work on the same transaction code.
Okay.
Hope you got my point.
Yes.
I want to say. So whenever it is get logged, you need not to wait. He need to release that, right? Go to SM12 and give the argument. That's it. Now you can see here. If I want to work, okay. So here you can see already I have opened OB62. So /n OB62. See here. Even I can work and the other person can also work.
Okay.
No issues. Clear? If at all any screen is locked, then we need to use the transaction code called SM12. And after that, we need to give the user ID on whose name it is logged. And after that, click on list button, and it will show you what are the transactions are logged. We need to select and click on delete button. So with that, delete in the sense only the log will be deleted, not the data, right?
Yep.
So once you are done with that, then both can work. That particular user also can work on the same transaction, and we can also work on the same transaction. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes.
That's it. And Monday, we will see the part of. So just go through once any questions, please let me know. So we will start with the most important part, that is fiscal year variant. How we are going to define financial years for different environment, and what are the SAP standard fiscal year variants we have. Okay. So
Now-
start
now-
practice if somebody has not started yet.
Yeah, Navin, just want to check with you. Will you be sending this notes to us?
Yeah, I'll send it. Today I'll share it.
Okay.
Yeah. Today I'll share it, that working notes, and as well as this one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. See you in Monday session.
Thank you. Wish you a happy weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.